Hello, hello. Good day. I starting late today because I got up early and I didn't have that far to drive and it was a snowstorm outside. So I tried to get to my destination before before my company decided to shut me down, but they called me 2 hours into it and they shut me down anyway. So I didn't make it to my destination, but that's okay. So that's why I didn't do my reading this morning like I normally should be doing, like I like to do. And I noticed yesterday, I checked the audio on the earphones and I didn't really notice a difference. So I'm going to use these ones. I like these ones better. They're a little bit more comfortable. They're like held together with magnets. So they're not like in the ear, or they can be if you want them to be. You could situation in the ear, but they also just go over the ear and you can hear just fine with it, and they're just more comfortable to wear, and I could leave it out so where I can hear myself speak and I'm not speaking too loudly. And it was a negligible difference of audio qualities. Today we're going to be doing chapter 21 through 30, and then yeah, that's about it. I looked on the video too when I was watching it to see about the audio. And two things I noticed was, number one, you guys saw my mess of a corner. This is my messy corner. I built this table and strapped it down with some straps. You know what I mean? You can see the orange strap here. So it's got a tie down right here. And it looks a mess, but these are important papers. These are my crosses, Nintendo Switch, and then some gloves just in case I got to touch anything dirty. And of course medicines and stuff like that, toothpaste, and just dirty clothes. So it looks a mess, and it is a mess, but I don't really care, honestly. So I apologize. I do apologize for it, though. It looks messier than it actually is. It just, and then I got my dishes and knives and stuff I cook with and other medicines over there. And anyways, it's just living in a truck. What are you gonna do? And then the other thing was, I noticed too, is that you're always going to see me in a white shirt. This is a very rare time where I'm not wearing a white shirt for some reason. I don't know why. But if you ever always see me in a white shirt, it's because I wear almost nothing but white shirts. So this is like the only shirt I have with me besides like a reflective shirt that is not white. So if you were to look here, let me show you. You're going to see this other mess. This is all my clothes and stuff. But if you look into here, below the soap and below all this stuff, these are all white shirts. Like everything's white, and it goes all the way down to the bottom of the thing. So that's all my clothes right there. And like I said, when you live in a truck, you just fit stuff where you can. You ain't got room, a whole lot of room. So anyways, you guys didn't come here for that. Let me turn on the air real quick. Actually, it's hot now. We're in a snowstorm, and I'm getting blasted by the heater. So it is. There it is. It is getting a little too hot. A little too hot. Anyways, okay. Sorry about the explanations and everything, but here we go. This is day number 3. Chapters 21 through 30 of Genesis. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived, and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, as God had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him. And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. Excuse me. And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. And she said, Who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given child suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age. The child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the same day Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And God said unto Abraham, Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman. In all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice. For in Isaac shall thy seed be called. And also the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread and a bottle of water, and gave it to Hagar, putting it on her shoulder, and the child, and sent her away. And she departed, and watered the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water was spent in the bottle. She cast the child under one of the shrubs, and she went and sat down over against him a good way off, as it were a bowshot. For she said, Let me not see the death of the child. She sat over against him, and lifted up her voice, and wept. And God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven, and said unto her, What aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise and lift up the lad, and hold him in thy hand. I will make him a great nation. And God opened up her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the bottle of water, and gave the lad drink. And God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran. And his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt. And it came to pass at that time that Abimelech and Phicol, the chief captain of the host, spake unto Abraham, saying, God is with thee in all that thou doest. Now therefore swear unto me here by God, that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto me, and to the land wherein thou hast sojourned. And Abraham said, I swear. And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of because of a well of water, which Abimelech's servants had violently taken away. And Abimelech said, I wot not who hath done this thing, neither didst thou tell me, neither yet I heard I of it, but today. And Abraham took the sheep and oxen and gave them to Abimelech, and both of them made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What mean these 7 ewe lambs which thou hast set by themselves? And he said, For these 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take in my hand, and they may be a witness unto me that I have digged this well. For he called that place Beersheba, because they swear both of them. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba. And then Abimelech rose up, and Phicol, the chief captain of his host, and they returned to the land of the Philistines. And Abraham planted a glove in Beersheba, and called on the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham sojourned in the Philistines' land many days. And it came to pass after all these things that God did tempt Abraham, and said unto Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning. He saddled his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto the place where God had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted his eyes, and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again unto you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son, and took the fire in hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they both went. Can't read today. So they went, both of them together. Let me get some water. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Alrighty. Went both of them together. Where did I? Okay. And they came to a place which God had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, and seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes, and looked, and behold, him a ram caught in the thicket by his thorns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, that is to this day the mount of the Lord. The mount of the Lord, it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself I have sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and multiplying I will multiply thy seed, as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations be of the earth blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt in Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she hath also borne children unto thy brother Nahor, Huz his firstborn, Buz his brother, Chemel the father of Aram, and Chesed, and Hazo, and Pildash, and Jidlaph, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begat Rebekah. These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother. And his concubine, whose name was Reumah, she bare Tebah, and Gahem, and Thashash, and Makkah. And Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. Sarah died in Kirjath Arba. The same is Hebron in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn Sarah, and to weep for her. And Abraham stood up from before his dead, and he spake unto the sons of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and sojourner with you. Give me a possession of burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, Hear us, my lord. Thou art a mighty prince among us, and the choice of our sepulchres bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold thee from thee his sepulchre, but thou mayest bury thy dead. But that thou may bury their dead. And Abraham stood up, bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Heth, and he communed with them, saying, If it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me, and entreat me to Ephron the son of Zohar, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he hath, which is in the end of the field. For as much money as is worth, he shall give it to me for a possession of a burying place amongst you. And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth. And Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Heth, even all that were in the gate of the city, saying, Nay, my lord, hear me. The field I give I thee, and the cave that is therein I give it thee. In the presence of the sons of my people I give it thee, bury thy dead. And Abraham bowed himself before the people of the land. He spake unto Ephron in the audience of the people of the land, saying, But if thou wilt give it, I pray thee, hear me. I will give the money for the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying unto him, My lord, hearken unto me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. But is that betwixt me and thee? What is that betwixt me and thee? Bury therefore thy dead. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver which he had named in the audience of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant. And at the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in the borders round about, were made sure unto Abraham for possession in the presence of the children of Heth, for all that went into the gate of the city. The burial of Sarah. And after this Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah before Mamre, and the same is Hebron in the land of Canaan. And the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for possession of a burying place by the sons of Heth. And Abraham was old, and was well stricken in age, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of the house, that ruled over all that he had, Put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and I will make thee swear by the Lord God, the God of heaven and the God of earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell, but thou shalt go into my country and to my kindred, and take a wife for my son Isaac. And the servant said unto him, Peradventure the woman will not be willing to follow me unto this land. Must I needs bring thy son again unto the land from whence thou camest? And Abraham said unto him, Beware that thou not bring my son thither again. The Lord God of heaven, which took me from my father's house and from the land of my kindred, which spake unto me, that swore unto me, saying, Unto thy seed I will give this land, he shall send an angel before thee, and thou shalt take a wife unto thy son from thence. And if the woman be not willing to follow thee, then thou shalt be clear from this my oath. Only bring not my son thither again. And the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master, and swore to him concerning this matter. And the servant took 10 camels of the camels of his master, and departed. For all the goods of his master were in his hand, and he arose and went to Mesopotamia unto the city of Nahor. And he made his camels to kneel down without the city by a well of water at the time of the evening, even the time that women go out to draw water. And he said, O Lord God, my master Abraham, I pray thee, send me a good speed this day, and show kindness unto my master Abraham. Behold, I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city come out to draw water. Let it come to pass that the damsel whom I shall say, Let down thy pitcher, I pray thee, that I may drink, and she shall say, Drink, and I will give the camels drink also. Let the same be she that thou hast appointed for thy servant Isaac. And thereby I know that thou hast showed kindness unto my master. And it came to pass, before he had done speaking, behold, Rebekah came out, who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, with her pitcher upon her shoulder. And the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin, neither had man known her. And she went down to the well, and filled her pitcher, and came up. And the servant ran to meet her, and said, Let me pray, I pray thee, drink a little water of thy pitcher. And she said, Drink, my lord. And she hasted, and let down a pitcher upon her hand, and gave him drink. And when she had done giving him drink, she said, I will draw water for thy camels also, until they have done drinking. And she hasted, and emptied her pitcher into the trough, and ran again to the well to draw water, and drew for all of his camels. And the man, wondering at her, held his peace, to wit whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not. And it came to pass, as the camels had done drinking, the man took a golden earring, a half shekel in weight, and 2 bracelets for her hands, 10 shekels of weight in gold, and said, Whose daughter art thou? Tell me, I pray thee, is there room in thy father's house for us to lodge in? And she said unto him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, son of Milcah, which she bare unto Nahor. And she said moreover unto him, We have both straw and provender enough, and room to lodge in. And the man bowed his head and worshipped the Lord. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of my master Abraham, who hath not left destitute my master of his mercy and his truth. I, being in the way of the Lord, led me to the house of my master's brethren. And the damsel ran and told them of her mother's house these things. And Rebekah had a brother, his name was Laban. And Laban ran out to the man unto the well. It came to pass, when he saw the earring and the bracelets upon his sister's hands, when he had heard the words of Rebekah's sister, saying, Thus spake the man unto me, he came unto the man, and behold, he stood by the camels at the well. And he said, Come in, thou blessed of the Lord. Wherefore standest thou without? For I have prepared the house and the room for the camels. And the man came into the house, and he ungirded his camels, and gave straw and provender for the camels, and water to wash his feet, and the men's feet that were with him. And there was set meat before him to eat. But he said, I will not eat until I have told mine errand. And he said, Speak on. And he said, I am Abraham's servant. The Lord hath blessed my master greatly, and he has become great. And he hath given him flocks and herds and silver and gold and menservants and maidservants and camels and asses. And Sarah, my master's wife, bare a son to my master when she was old, and unto him he had given all that he hath. And my master made me swear, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife to my son of the daughter of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell. But thou shalt go unto my father's house, and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son. I said unto my master, Peradventure the woman will not follow me. And he said unto me, The Lord before whom I walk will send an angel with thee, and prosper thy way. And thou shalt take a wife for my son from my kindred, and of my father's house. Then shalt thou be clear from this my oath. When thou he said unto me, The Lord before whom I walk will send an angel with thee, and prosper thy way. And thou shalt take a wife for my son of my kindred, and of my father's house. Then shalt thou be clear from this my oath. When thou comest unto my kindred, if they give not thee one, thou shalt be clear from my oath. And I came to this day unto the well, and said, Lord, God of my master Abraham, if now thou do prosper my way which I go, behold, I stand by the well of water, and it shall come to pass, when the virgin cometh forth to draw water, I say to her, Give me, I pray thee, a little water of thy pitcher to drink. She say to me, Both drink thou, and I will also drink. I also draw for thy camel. Let the same be the woman who the Lord hath appointed out for my master's son. And before I had done speaking in my heart, behold, Rebekah came forth with the pitcher on her shoulder. And she went down to the well, drew water, and I said unto her, Let me drink, I pray thee. And she made haste, and let down her pitcher from her shoulder, and said, Drink, and I will give thy camels drink also. So I drank, and she made the camels drink also. And I asked her, and said, Whose daughter art thou? And she said, The daughter of Bethuel, Nahor's son, whom Milcah bare unto him. And I put the earring on her face, and the bracelet on her hands, upon her hands. And I bowed down my head and worshipped the Lord, and the blessed the Lord God of my master Abraham, which had led me in the right way to take my master's brother's daughter, unto his son. And now if you will deal kindly and truly with my master, tell me, and if not, tell me, that I may return to the right or to the left. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, The thing proceeded from the Lord. We cannot speak unto thee bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before thee. Take her and go, and let her be thy master's son's wife. The Lord hath spoken. And it came to pass that when Abraham's servant heard the words, he worshipped the Lord, bowing himself to the earth. And the servant brought forth jewels and silver and jewels of gold and raiment, and gave them to Rebekah. And he also gave to her brother and to her mother precious things. And they did eat and drink, and the men that were with him, and tarried all night. And they rose up in the morning and said, Send me away unto my master. And the brother and her mother said, Let the damsel abide with us a few days, at the least 10. After that she shall go. And he said unto them, Hinder me not, seeing the Lord hath prospered my way. Send me away that I may go to my master. And they said, We will call the damsel and inquire at her mouth. And they called Rebekah and said unto her, Wilt thou go with this man? And she said, I will go. And they sent away Rebekah their sister and her nurse, and Abraham's servant and his men. And they blessed Rebekah, and said unto her, Thou art our sister. Be thou the mother of thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gate of which hate them. And Rebekah arose, and her damsels, and they rode upon the camels, and followed the man. And the servant took Rebekah and went his way. And Isaac came from the way of the well Lahai Roi, for he dwelt in the south country. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. For she had said unto the servant, What man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, It is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. And Isaac brought her to his mother Sarah's tent, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Then again Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bare him Zimran, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua. And Jokshan begat Sheba, and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Ashurim, Letushim, and Lumimim. And the sons of Midian, Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abidah, and Eldah. These were the children of Keturah. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. For the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts, and sent them away from Isaac his son, while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. And these are all the days and the years of Abraham's life which he lived. And 115 years. Abraham gave up the ghost, and died in a good old age, an old man full of years, and was gathered to his people. And his sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar, in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar the Hittite, which is before Mamre. The field of Abraham, which purchased of the sons of Heth, there was Abraham buried, and Sarah his wife. It came to pass after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt by the well Lahai Roi. I'm sorry, give me 1 second here. Wait 1 second. Number 12. Oh. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okie dokie. Alrighty. Now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael, by their names according to the generations: the firstborn of Ishmael, Nebajoth, and Kedar, and Abdil, and Mizbam, and Mishma, and Duma, and Massa, Hadar, and Timah, Jetur, Nephish, and Kedemah. And these are the sons of Ishmael. And these are the names by the towns and their castles, 12 princes according to their nations. These are the years of life of Ishmael, 137 years. And he gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people. And they dwelt from Havilah unto Shur, that is before Egypt, and now goes toward Assyria. And he died in the presence of all his brethren. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian of Padan Ram, but the sister of Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled to get together with her. And she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger, and the other people, the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days were to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her room. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and he took his hand to hold on to Esau's heel. His name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew. Esau was a cunning hunter and a man of the field. Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with the same pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am the point to die. What profit is this birthright due to me? And Jacob said, Swear me this day. And they swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. And Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went about his way. And thus Esau despised his birthright. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, the king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him, and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and I will bless thee. For unto thee and thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swore unto Abraham thy father. I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and I will give unto thy seed all these countries, and thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Because of that Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister, for he feared to say, She is my wife, lest, he said, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, Abimelech the king of the Philistines looked out at a widow, and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac, and said, Behold, of a surety she is thy wife. How thou saidst thou, She is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, Lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, What is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lain with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. And Isaac sowed in that land, and received in the same year and 100-fold. And the Lord blessed him, and the man was waxed great, and went forward and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks, and possession of herds, and great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him for all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father. And the Philistines stopped them, and filled them with the earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, thou art much mightier than we. And Isaac departed thence, and pitched a tent over the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac did dig the wells of water which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them up before the death of Abraham, or filled them up, stopped them up. Stop it, Daniel. And Isaac digged again the wells of water which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them up after the death of Abraham. And he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged the valley, and found that there were a wellspring of a. And Isaac's servants digged the valley, and found there a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, The water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. And they digged another well, and strove for that also, and he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence, and digged another well, for that they strove not, and he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, For now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. Hold on 1 second. Now we're getting cold. Turn off this air. Alright. And he went up thence from Beersheba, and the Lord appeared unto him that same night, and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and I will bless thee, and will multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he built an altar there, and he called the name of the Lord, and pitched a tent there. He called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servants digged a well. Then Abimelech came to him from Gerar, and Ashtaroth, one of his friends, and Phicol, the chief captain of his army. Then Isaac said unto him, Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? And they said, We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And we said, Let there now be an oath betwixt us, and even betwixt us and thee. Let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of the Lord. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. And they rose up betimes in the morning, swear to one another, and Isaac that sent them away. And they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass that same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, We have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Bashmath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which were a grief of mine unto Isaac and Rebekah. It came to pass when Isaac was old, and his eyes were so dim that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. He said unto him, Behold, here I am. And he said, Behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death, but therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons and quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some venison, and make me savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord, before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kinds of goats, and I'll make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched, and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob her younger son. And she put skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon his smooth neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of Jacob her son Jacob. And he came to his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, eat, and sit and eat of my venison. I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy, and his brother's Esau's hands. So he blessed him, and said, Thou art my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me. Now eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. He came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him. Then said, See, the smell of my son is the smell of the field of which the Lord hath. The smell of my son is the smell of the field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father. And Esau his brother came in from his hunting. He also made a savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken the venison, and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest. I have eaten of all before thou camest, and I have blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great exceeding bitter cry, and said to his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came subtlety, and taketh away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou now reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren I have given to him for servants. Be with corn and wine, and with corn and wine I have sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also. O my father. Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword thou shalt live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said unto his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand, and then I will slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice. Arise and flee unto the Laban my brother, to her. Flee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, flee thou to Laban my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days, until thy brother's fury turn away, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived of also you both in one day? Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these, which are the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do me? And Isaac called Jacob, and blessed him, and charged him, and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise and go to Pandaram, the house of Bethuel my mother's father, and take a wife from thence, the daughters of Laban thy mother's brother. And God Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people, and give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee, and to thy seed with thee, and thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which God gave unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Padan Aram, unto Laban, son of Bethuel the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's and Esau's mother. When Esau saw Isaac and blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Padan Aram to take a wife from thence, and that he blessed him gave him charge, saying, Thou shalt not take away for the daughters of Canaan. And Jacob obeyed his father and mother, and was gone to Padan Aram. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau unto Ishmael, and took unto the wives which she had Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went towards Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place, and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God descending on it. Behold, the Lord stood above it, and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac. And the land whereon thou liest, to thee I will give it to thee, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all the places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land. For I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken of. And Jacob walked out of his sleep and said, Surely the Lord is in his place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, How dreadful is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. And Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put for his pillow and set it up for a pillar, and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, for the name of that city was called Luz at the first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, If God be with me, and keep me in this way that I go, I will, and give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I came again to my father's house in peace, then shall the Lord be my God. And this stone which I have set up for a pillar shall be God's house, and of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give a tenth unto thee. Then Jacob went on his journey, and came to the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and the great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither, I don't know if it's hither or thither. I think it's hither. And hither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and they watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran are we. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well, and behold, Rachel his daughter is come up with sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is the time for cattle should be gathered together. Water ye sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot, until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. And while he yet spake to them, Rachel came up with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Rachel saw the daughter of Laban his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock. And Laban his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that she was Rebekah's son. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob and his sister's son, he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said unto him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of 1 month. And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, should thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel, and he said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better that I give her thee than she should be given to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, but they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast. And that it came to pass that in the evening he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for a handmaid. And it came to pass that the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said unto Laban, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Did I not serve thee for Rachel? Wherefore then thou hast beguiled me? And Laban said, It must not be so done in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee also for the service which thou hast shalt serve with me yet another 7 years. And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week. And he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid. And he went also into Rachel, and he loved Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, Surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction, now therefore my husband will love me. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, Because the Lord hath heard that I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son. Also she called the name Simeon. And she conceived again and bare a son. And now this time my husband will be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore his name was called Levi. And she conceived again and bare a son. And she said, Now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah, and the left bearing. When Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister, and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and said, Am I in God's stead, who hath withheld thee from the fruit of the womb? And she said, Behold, my maid Bilhah, go unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I also may have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to wife, and Jacob went unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and so also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore she called his name Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, With great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and have prevailed. So she called this name Naphtali. And when Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah her maid, and gave to her Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, A troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of the wheat harvest, and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. And Rachel said unto Leah, Give me, I pray thee, thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, Is it the small matter that thou hast taken my husband? Wilt thou also take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, Thou must come unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes, and lay with her that night. And God hearkened unto Leah, and she also conceived and bore Jacob a 5th son. And Leah said, God hath given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar. And Leah conceived again, and bare Jacob a 6th son. And Leah said, God hath endowed me with a good dowry. Now my husband will dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. After she bare a daughter, and called her name Dinah. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her, and opened her womb. And she conceived and bore a son, and said, God hath taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, The Lord shall add me to another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, Jacob said unto Laban, Send me away, that I may go into my own place, and to my own country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I serve thee, and let me go, for thou knowest my service, in which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. And he said, Appoint me thy wages, and I will give thee. And he said unto them, Thou shalt know how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me, for it was little when thou hast before I came. For it was little which thou hast before I came, and now is increased unto a multitude. and the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming. And now when I shall provide for my own house also. And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob said, Thou shalt not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. I will pass through thy flock today, moving from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and all the spotted and speckled among the goats, and of such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come time for my hire before thy face. Every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, shall be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, Behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And Laban said, Behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And he removed that day the he-goats that were ring-straked and spotted, and all the she-goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them unto the hand of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar, and of the hazel and the chestnut tree, and piled white strakes in them, and made a white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had piled before the flocks the gutters in the watering troughs, and when the flocks came to drink, they would conceive when they came to drink. Wait, hold on. And when the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle, ring-straked, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob separated the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring-straked, and the brown of the flock of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger were Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, maidservants, menservants, and camels and asses. That was Genesis 21 through 30. Thank you, Lord. I will see you guys tomorrow.